My channel's a geezer channel.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You got a bunch of geezers watching me.
Yeah, I hope I have a bunch of geezers watching me tonight. Hi, everyone. It's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray, your favorite registered nurse, coming to you from a very chilly Virginia Beach today. So I needed to get my poll started, and I didn't get it started. So it's so glad to see everybody. And you're all here. You were first. Okay. Interesting. Courtside drama, blind views. Well, we're going to be definitely looking at Tim, but I understand. And maybe, I would love to know, actually starting out, do you have a creator in mind that you're thinking about that does this type of fast flipping? Because we're going to take a look at some of the laws about this. Just kind of the ethics really behind it, and kind of talk about some of the people, primarily I know about Sarasota Tim, but I understand there are quite a few people that do this. And the hey, Grandma's Pocketbook, how are you? Hey, Miss Vicky. Hey, you got Angel Glass here and Catherine, making sure everyone's behaving themselves in the chat. We're going to obviously look at something with Tim too, because he has been purchasing a new scooter. And so, or he's wanting to buy a new scooter. And so he's got some stuff back on Facebook. And really, it's quite interesting because there are quite a few people. Roscoe and Junebug are up on the couch. I was hoping he would go to MacD's for Piff, but he went to... Well, we're going to watch the video from his morning chat before he goes put his trailer hitch up. And we're going to take a look at some of his recent Facebook listings. And we're actually just going to share a quick brief in memoriam. So let me just share this with everybody real quick. Just a moment of peace and silence for some of the recent things that we have seen on Tim's Facebook page in memoriam for these items that were maybe sent for review or that Tim just personally purchased. But this has been a few that we have captured recently. I think we did get the e-bike at some point. Oh, gosh. And I don't think I added it. I don't have them all, but we need to start making an in memoriam list. Okay, hold on. Let me add. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. That was the, there's our portable car air pump right there. Oh, that motorcycle touring bag. Who can forget that? Oh, the e-scooter. How much did he sell this one for? I'm going to be curious. Oh, there's that blue Yeti. Hold on. I want to go back actually and take a look at the replay because I'm curious to know how much he got for, because some of these things we know he purchased. Now, the battery, was that something he was sent? Was that something? No, he bought that. The touring bag he bought, but he's, Facebook Marketplace. There is a way. Here we go. How much is he selling it for? Do we ever see how much he sold it for? Hold on. Let me go back on that one. I just curious at how much he was. $200. So Tim is looking for a company to send him another $200 e-scooter so that he can go fast flip that, because he was hurting because he said he didn't have any pants today. And I'm just thinking to myself, he just throws away clothes, what he said. And then he said, oh, I left it in the laundromat. Oh, we'll catch up with it. It's all bad. They need to investigate him. Well, I just find it wild. Anyway, in memoriam to the e-scooter. There'll be another one soon. And, of course, the Blue Eddy power station with companion battery. Was that one that he was given for review? I'm thinking it must be. Look at the price of that. $1,550. So I could have set a question up. Facebook Marketplace sends you a 1099. Yes, they absolutely do. And you can be known as a mass vendor. So obviously we know that Tim put the bike on. Well, he's had something new recently. So let me share this one real fast. with you, because, you know, obviously RIP, you know, to that one. Yeah. Let me see. I gotta try to find it. Let me see. Miss Vicky sent it to me earlier. Let me see. I don't know if can I get back that far up? Let me see if I can see it. Let me check my history. That's probably going to be better. I was supposed to be setting this up, but of course, you know, I was rolling around trying to get to Kroger today. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. I have forgot suddenly that it was St. Patrick's Day. So let me make sure that I you know, say happy St. Patrick's Day to anybody who's celebrating today. I hope you're all minding yourselves. Are you drinking anything green? I guess I am. I have a green cup from Panera Bread. I got myself a little bit of coffee to make sure I can run through. Drop in the chat. I know Miss Vicky had some St. Patrick's Day things out. So drop it down in the chat if you are doing anything for St. Patrick's Day tonight. Are you eating soda bread? I'm going to have some potatoes in a little bit. And that will be my nod to the Irish, my Irish blood. You've never bought a single item on Facebook Market or Craigslist? You only get given away household items? Oh my gosh. And I just, oh, that's terrible too. Yeah, well, you know, that's something we're going to address too. So let's share this one. And then we'll talk about, you know, whether or not you feel, I'm going to set up a poll. So here we go. I'm not logged in at all. So let me see. Are we seeing this? Yes. Okay. So I apologize if it's, you know, got the Facebook stuff. I have a login, but I'm not logging in. Here we have, look who we got here. Look what we got, guys. Look what we got. RIP. I did take an image of it, but I need a PDF. Oh, I probably could have put it on the film. But rest in peace to the Vivor gazebo that Tim had. That he almost burnt down with that campfire. This is my favorite part of this thing. So it says here it was never used, which is an absolute, which be a lie. And then just, okay, so this is the thing that we'll take a look at Tim's video begging for the e-scooter because he's dry begging hard today. And we know that it's funny, and because somebody had pointed out that he had listed, I thought, the e-bike for sale, but then he had a review video out, which maybe, and I think Miss Vicky had a good point to me privately today that Tim had potentially pre-recorded some of those videos so that he could have at least the company whose contract he has, Believe, or whoever get his sales pitch out. So maybe pre-recorded a bunch, of those videos and batched them up. He could have gone and changed his outfit. Who the heck knows, And that would be interesting to see if his outfit's changed. But, it's interesting to, find out when you're looking, obviously, as a consumer, how to spot these type of RV folks who are getting this, because there are a lot of these creators. I know it's not just Sarasota Tim. Isn't Nomadic Fanatic somebody who's been known to get a lot of e-bikes and then flip them onto a market? I'm wondering if Off-Grid Mikey has been known to do the same. There's another gentleman called Camper Van Kevin. He seems to get a lot of stuff to review and actual full-on sponsorship deals. So I just wonder, because obviously there are tax implications. You are supposed to report both, not only the item, but the sale of it on your IRS. So we're going to take a look at some information around that, but just let's take a look at Tim's gazebo. Oh, rest in peace. That's why I'm wearing black tonight, guys. I should zip up a little bit more and be more in black, because we need to be getting the candles out and putting a rest in RIP. Do you think it was pre-recorded? Timmy rejected us all of us. Well, I just want to make sure that everybody becomes a savvy consumer, if you may, on the internet. And YouTube is starting to become more dominant as a source of entertainment in people's homes. In fact, 35% of my audience, believe it or not, watch my content on a TV, which makes me kind of like in people's living rooms, which is wild. And so give us a like for that. And that's because of you guys being so awesome. So yeah, and because we let me hide that comment there. Because obviously what that means, looking at the tent now, never used. Cinderbox holding it, wet ground, pic of him with the fire pit, bunch of stuff inside of it. Yeah, I know. He had a video today about the e-bike. I know. That's why we're talking. This is, and he just knows. We just know he's going to be turning around and flipping this thing over. V4 12 by 12 gazebo with 6 side curtains and stakes. Is that steaks? He spelled that steaks like the food steaks. Is he giving away like Omaha steaks? Doesn't he know that's STAKES? Like to put a steak in? What the spelling is that, Tim? Please hit the likes, folks. Yeah. The gazebo is 3 slabs away in the video. You got banned? Well, we all get banned. How to get banned from Sarasota Tim is to make a logical comment in his chat, and then you'll get yourself banned. That's all you got to do. Make a logical comment. I love the fact that he doesn't know how to spell the word steaks. Our upcoming court case is going to be fun. See, never used. And he's got chairs sitting in there. I guess that's just for the sale, like a house, like getting fixed up. Bradenton. all this stuff around we got over. Look at this. Yep, here we go. He's got literally a picture with cinder blocks. The Q1200's out, guys. Hit the likes if you want this to get this. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. How can you say it's never used? When you Tim's sitting there thinking he like a catalog model for a Vivor catalog. Like, look at me in the Vivor gazebo. He's sitting there like he's a model. Stay in school. No, we're all the ones who do the drugs, remember? We're all the hippies over here. We's the hippies over here, guys. We's the hippies. Yeah, don't forget to like never used. I know. Tim thinking he's like a JC Penney model in there. You did some marijuana shopping? Did you end up buying a lot of food you didn't really need to eat because it wasn't very healthy? Hey, I, as a medical professional, understand there are some very beneficial uses for medical marijuana. And for patients of mine who have cancer and have lost their appetites because of chemo and marijuana, not only addressing pain, but helping them want to eat, I'm all on board for that. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, as a healthcare professional, I always look at things objectively. You know, if somebody's young and about to go out and commit like a heinous crime, no. If you're elderly and you've done your life's work and you have arthritic pain and you want to smoke some ganja, go ahead. Have at it. It's probably better for your kidneys. But obviously, be careful because it is not great for your lungs. That's why they get people to eat gummies and stuff, I guess. But I'm telling you, it's not the worst of the worst for an analgesic. Oh, here we go. We got another. That's just my medical opinion. Tater in China is enjoying a life while this lady is getting rejected by Tim. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because that's the only reason why women make commentary about men on the internet is because we're all just thwarted by the, not wanting to have relation. Wow. There are some really high school level people. I am hoping that we can just troll them out of here in some ways, just with good content. Because I don't really care for the drama. This is just fun to talk about because there are a lot of people who are getting ready for RV season and are needing to buy things. Shipping costs are really very expensive. And a lot of times, if you already have something that you have paid in put up and already like an e-bike, and you've assembled it and all of these things, like I said, and you can just go and pick it up, that's a good deal, if you're not having to purchase the shipping. Let me get rid of that banner. Goodness me. My life. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that thing was still flashing. Irritating. So yeah, that is one of the reasons why people may start to look at that. But obviously, if you have one of these fast flippers from creators, because they're everywhere, it's not just going to be on YouTube. There are going to be people on TikTok. There are going to be people on probably TikTok and YouTube are probably the biggest locations. I don't know how much for Instagram. I know they do probably, but I don't know if that's, I don't feel like RV sailing is, that doesn't feel like an Instagram sort of thing to me, but maybe because of people traveling and the photos and what have you, maybe they are reviewing products. So just shows you I don't go on Instagram. But one of the things that's really interesting. Oh, what happened with Anne? What happened with Anne? Is there something going on? Troll in the chat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want with them. I don't care. Because, there's people that they just make it boring for the rest of the audience that's having a good time. Make sure to hit the likes because people might not, we don't always have to talk about Tim. That we've got so many more interesting topics because there's so many. There's one I'm going to be doing soon, actually, just off topic real quick, involving AI doctors and people actually being convinced about this. So we're going to listen to some voices and see if you can actually distinguish just from audio the difference between an AI doctor voice and a real doctor talking. So we're going to find out some interesting things. But obviously, like I said, we're getting to RV season. Gas prices are high. Shipping costs are up. People, though, may still have some money to travel in their RV, maybe staying close to home, doing some RV traveling still at closer places, maybe not going so far away, is still potentially a less expensive alternative to other holidays. I know, say, for example, people might want to come to a place like Virginia Beach, there's a number of RV parks that are along like the same long road. It's General Booth that goes into Pacific Avenue, and that goes into the sort of oceanfront area. And there's a number of campsites and RV parks there. And obviously, it's a good alternative cost-wise to saying to one of the hotels. And a lot of times these RV parks actually have their dedicated parking areas right next to the beach. So people can go park right near to the beach area and enjoy the beach. So there's, I think there's like a KOA, or there was one of them that does that. And it's been there forever. It's a huge, huge RV park. Some of you might even be familiar with it. And so we're getting closer to that time of the year. Places like Virginia Beach are obviously very attractive to anybody living in the East Coast area and can be very affordable. And so people are going to be looking at Facebook Marketplace to find things to take maybe along, a gazebo to put outside. And these things aren't going to come with the warranties that would be usually had, because these have been gifted items. And there should be some disclosure, which Tim doesn't have, that this had been a review item and that he is now selling it, because there is things from the FTC that require you not to be deceptive when you are doing things. And there's a lot of things that they're doing, and we'll take a brief look at things focused just at creators. Now, Tim doesn't necessarily fall into all these categories because he does have review items and stuff. But there is a lot of stuff about omitting deception and omitting deception and so forth. So I wonder, and I'll try to get a Nightbot question started actually. Would you be sort of thinking, would you want to buy something if somebody hadn't disclosed that they just got it for review? So it's not going to potentially carry the same warranties. Like Tim's e-bike may not carry the same warranties. And then so who knows? Okay, so here we have this picture Oh, here we got that one. Is this all the pictures? Is this all we got? Okay, so it's just the 3 pictures. So Tim doesn't say anything used like new, never used. I don't know how he always picks use like new, and then he always puts never used in here. I was surprised he didn't put never used for that scooter. So yeah, all right. So R.I.P. to the gazebo, the Vivor gazebo. Oh, he's discounted the price too. He is trying to slim down. Oh, for this guy is so wild. Yeah. Yeah, there's only one thing to do with that guy. He is a professional grifter. Sorry, I got rid of the guy who was being all weird and stuff. You know, it's so interesting that there's, I know we all have to deal with the trolls. It's surprising because you can understand if a troll's 20, but my trolls are like 60-year-old guys who have like no wives and no lives, or they might have a wife, but they're not as interested in their wives as they are with me. So it's wild. You did. Oh, I think he might be gone longer from that. Because it's just boring. Anyway, hit the likes for that, guys, for getting rid of that. Just absolute troll. I would be embarrassed to be a man, actually. Okay. This is interesting. Supposedly, Tim is wanting to, like I said, this is like Tim's call out. Look, this is the e-bike, dual battery. He's got 1,000 views. Who knows what Tim, I wonder what, I always wonder what category does Tim put himself under? Would he have put that under automotive? Because depending on the categories, Tim could be netting pretty good money from a video like that. And we know, what was he selling that bike for? $850? I want to say that somebody sent me the screenshot. Miss Vicky would know. I don't know if she went on out. You wonder if he used the ribeyes to hold down the tent. He used those Omaha steaks and Policeman Don. That's what he used. Does the tent come with the cinder blocks? I would hope so. I'd be feeling ripped off. So he's trying to get, you remember he had to desperately have that tent? He desperately had to have that gazebo. Let me see if we can see that Vivor gazebo video. Let's see. Vivor gazebo. Let's see. Here we go. This is 3 months ago. Which is the first one? Quick takedown. Almost burnt it. My RV, all the snow. He's got that one. Here we go. Vivor. This is the one where he actually puts it up. Life upgrade. This was 3 months ago. Here he is installing it. Isn't this?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Oh, he didn't. I don't know. One of them he actually had. Remember, he had to. This is the one we see Miss Tammy in the glasses. This is the infamous Tammy in the glasses one where he's going in here.
It's right off on a, in misty rain. On a hard rain, we got our curtains, which I'm going to show you. But we zip it down.
This is the one we saw.
You pull these out nice.
I
Get this all the way out. You don't want those tucked under there. You want those all the way out, nice and flat. Okay, you pull them out all the way around. I won't go all the way around. I'm just going to show you these right here. Just pull it out on the ground.
There we go. We saw Miss Tammy's the good. This is this is some of the stuff that Miss Tammy hates us doing around here. Where we saw that her call was parked over here. She swung real quick.
Okay, you pull them out all the way around. I won't go all the way around. I'm just going to show you these right here. Just pull it out on the grass. And then when the rain comes down, it flows off. Nothing goes in there. So you have a zipper.
Oh my God. Tim's getting out of breath just going up and down on that tent. But here we go. 3 months ago, Tim, remember, he just couldn't wait. This was going to be just life-changing. 3 months later, $125. And then he, see how many videos he put out? He put out like 3 or 4 videos on the gazebo for his troop. Amazon selling new e-bike for $629. What was the date of that, Vivo? Good question. Let me see. Oh, look, he's still saying here. December the 4th, 2025. So that was the date that he did his video. Was that the one where he had to take it down and then put it back up because of his having like not including the includes paid promotion or something. Because sometimes he forgets to do that, and they are very strict about that. Now you have got to be putting up paid promotion every time, especially in 2026. Like the FTC is starting to crack down because the government not going to leave money on the table with these creators doing all this stuff, you know. So yeah, that was the date on that one. But as you saw, he had. If I just look up Vivor Gazebo, we got, you know, a couple of videos here, just the ones where he mentions it. Quick takedown. That was 3,000 views, 4.8. That's almost 8,000 views there, plus 3.6. We're getting close to say 3.5 to make it easy math for me. 8 plus 3.6, like around 11,500 views. Just say, for example, I don't know what category Tim puts his videos under, but let's say he puts it under a good category. Let's say he puts it under how to or automotive or review or something where he could be getting very good ROI on that monetization. Maybe he's getting $10 or $12. So he could be getting $100 some dollars alone just from having put those videos out, $100+, maybe more, just from the monetization of the video. I know he had a link. I don't know if he had any kickback from the company, if anybody happened to buy anything. A lot of times with these product reviews, as creators, you are the ones just getting the product and a discount code for your actual subscribers. Sometimes you might have affiliate links where you are, if people go and purchase products there, you're getting a commission if you want from the sales. So it just really depends. These are all people coming. All right, I'll just let you guys know. Every time you see these weird channels coming in, there's some people in the community that have decided that they're going to create a lot of sock accounts and they are going to start trying to harass me a little bit more. And so I'm keeping an eye on it. And so you're going to see a lot of it because Carl and Stuart and St. Louis Scott and all of these guys are a little getting a little bit upset over in their corner of the universe. And so just to give you guys heads up. So just want to let you know. But I'm just going to keep trying to get rid of them. So because they're going to keep coming and coming because they know I'm going to court with Tim too. And so they are very misogynistic. They think that any woman who's just doing her job is having fun on the internet and has half a brain, which I am more than that, but is a professional, which I am, a licensed registered nurse and a professional, that they can just be the most misogynistic high school people, and they're old. It's really wild. These are like really old guys. I might actually call Tim for his behaviors on the internet. He's more of a case analysis. And I've always said that. And that's why I've kind of followed him, because Tim's a narcissist. But these guys, these people are really wild. And it's kind of sad because they're old too. You don't trust T-Bucket. Oh, you're getting videos. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. It's, it's going to be handled. So they're all, and I understand that Carl wants to have one sock account because I have the transcripts, what we're going to do is when we go to members only, because I don't want to bring this into a general live because it's boring. But those of you who are members, and we have like over 100 community members, I'm going to bring it live, and I'm just going to show you some receipts about who these people are. And then from there, you as an audience can make your decision, at least for my members, because I don't want to ever promote not going to somebody's channel, because that's not what we're about here. You can make your decision as to what you think of the caliber of their character. And then I'm just going to take it from there, because obviously I understand how the law works. Yeah, I find it funny too. But I know that people that when we're in here on a live stream and we're just having fun and stuff, it's not funny. then it's, actually wanting to have a sock account called sleep with one eye open is actually a threat. And that's why I said I don't want to talk about it here, but we'll talk about it more in the members only. And that's why I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, absolutely no due diligence. Many of these are Chinese companies. Yes. Lack something. Yeah. They lack a lot, girl. You know what they lack the most of? Because we're here to have fun.
I can't even get erect.
It would be beneficial to have the little blue pill on their channels for ads. It might help their numbers too. Because they're in the garbage as well, which is even funnier. All right, so let's get back to the fun stuff. So Tim, got some money, depending on how much he makes on his monetization. We don't know. Have no idea. And so, but he made extra there. And then once he sells that gazebo, which he got completely for free for $125, probably somebody coming to pick it up from his place. He might take it to somebody, meet him in a parking lot at a supermarket. Safest place is a police station. Let me just let you know, especially ladies out there or even men. Don't ever arrange to meet somebody that you do not know at your place or at like a public, what you think is public, a parking lot. Always do the parking lot at the police station in your town. It's the safest place to go. Because if they're dodgy at all or have designs to take your vehicles or anything, because you just don't know with people, they're not going to do it at a police station. So that's just what I always wanted to say to people. And Tim is always talking about meeting these random people with this stuff in all sorts of locations. And he literally said he picked up a stranger from an airport about a motorbike that was $20-some thousand. I don't think any elderly, I mean, he's not elderly, but anybody in the right mind who's older would do that. It's just why that story was so wild. He has to convince himself he's 24/7. His life don't suck. Must be miserable. Yeah. Well, he's got to keep churning out this stuff. But the money for Tim now is not probably so much in the AdSense. And the respect to this tent here, I mean, there were more videos, but they're just dedicated videos alone. He probably got $150 to $200 on the ad revenue, $125 on the actual tent. So 120. I mean, he could be getting $300-some. I mean, that's a couple of hundos in his pocket. That's a day's work. And he probably didn't put that much work into it. And he said he hounded the company for it. Tim may have oniomania, compulsive buying syndrome, but I'm not diagnosing. Well, we certainly know he likes to buy. And then we're going to put up the video that he put out today around the fact that he has all these pants and stuff that he just threw out. He didn't even care about
everybody.
His
Sarasota Tim.
He didn't care about his pants. All right. Is he 1.5? Yeah. He wants a scooter. Well, yeah, we know you want a scooter, Tim. We know you want a scooter because you got $200 for the last one. Why wouldn't you want a scooter? Why wouldn't you want a scooter? He looks so desperate for human contact after talking into his phone all day. I'm guessing that he does. I think he goes stir crazy inside that 25-foot camper. I think it's probably a fairly small space, and it was chilly today in Florida. We're going to let Tim take it away. He wants to spend money. Oh, he loves spending money, but only on certain things, I promise you. He doesn't want to spend money on attorneys. I need to see I don't know, did JJ take his channel? I need to get that thing about the disregard of attorneys because that's good for court.
7:08, been up about an hour. Just got out of the shower. Still look a little sleepy, but went to bed at 9:30. Hey, it was 10. So I got 8 hours sleep. Of course, I did get up to pee like I do every day. and went back to bed. I had my, instead of white noise, I leave.
I mean, yes, Tim, thank you. Why are you sharing those details? Most of us, that's generally what we do. I've been potty training a 2-year-old recently. And guess what? That's what they do too. That's what we're teaching her to do, should I say. Why? Why are we hearing these details? I'm sorry, guys. That's just TMI.
The Bible app on. Last night I started out listening to 1 Corinthians. I've already turned on the TV this morning on YouTube and watched a Charles Stanley and a Billy Graham sermon. And I'll be honest with you, and I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be hitting my knees, putting my prayers out for the day, because I'm full of the Holy Spirit, folks. I got snakes running all through my body. I need a tambourine next Sunday when I go to church so I can roll down the aisles. You ever been to a Pentecostal church? I visit them. Church of God, Pentecostal. If you don't know what Pentecostal is, those are the people that get up and dance around and raise their arms and holler and scream, and the Spirit runs through them. They talk in tongues.
Oh gosh, that sounds exhausting. It's not my church. That doesn't sound like you're taking religion seriously when you're doing all that. I understand, but that's just not how I prefer my services to be done. I've got some interesting stuff over here, guys. So we're going to share that in a second. I just got to get it done. I'm looking at something in my emails.
Woo! All right, let's take a look at the color here. It's black, baby, black. What is this, 3-4 days in a row? Black coffee. I'm going to nuke this for about 10 seconds. I turned it off before I got in the shower. Let's give it 15. Oh, that was 1:15. Stop. 15. Start. So it is cold outside, and it has been windy to bring this front in. I don't talk about cold because you guys know all about cold if you live north of Florida. But today's the day, baby, to get the trailer hitch. We're going this morning to get that done. And while they're doing that, I'll walk instead of sitting around there. I've got a little hoodie in my truck. I actually threw away a jacket I had the other day when I did laundry. I left it for somebody to use it. It was a jacket. I didn't want it.
This is where we just hear about Tim's level of charity over here. He's hitting his knees. Oh yeah, we know that Tim is a good and godly man. Remember, yeah. He knows more than the priest or the pastor, depending on your religion. When he went, remember that he said that the pastor picked up something that he does. I mean, he's just his level of just. But now we get to find out a little bit. Yeah. He said he threw the jacket away. Oh, he's correcting himself though, so you have to listen to how he corrects himself. Oh, maybe that one didn't have the return policy. Listen to him. He's trying to figure out his story straight. Watch the face. See the face expression. This is where you find the narcissist in Tim. Because we know he has genes. We saw them. I mean, I'm just so shocked. I guess, this is one of the reasons why they so fast flip. They get all this stuff to review. We're still going to take a look at some of the FTC stuff at the end for people who went for the intellectual stuff, which obviously aren't my trolls.
I've got the hoodie, and I mean, do I use you? If I don't use it, I throw it away. It's already going to be warm from now on, from here to everywhere, except for today when I could use it. Let me see what it feels like outside. Let's open the door. It's still dark out there. Oh, I'm going to regret trying to walk in that with some shorts, and I ain't got no pants, except my Sunday go to meeting pants. I've been meaning to go get some more jeans at Walmart or something. You know what I really want? I want Wrangler jeans. Now, Walmart sells Wrangler jeans, but there's some trucker style. I don't know.
That's why we all come home and wash stuff at the store, get stuff really far at the back.
But
flea season.
Yeah, I'll look into them again. I'm not going to go to pay $60 for a pair because the jeans are the hottest thing in the summer and the coldest thing in the winter. But
he's got to pay for that. I just wonder what he categorizes his videos as. Interesting. Because I have premium. And so if you know, I don't know in the chat, do you know what type of ads, if you've ever watched Tim, hopefully you just watch them through reaction channels. But if you do happen to, because you're interested just to see what nonsense he got going on, do you see what type of ads are running at all in his, because that would give an indication. Like if he was on a cheaper thing, he would be like, you would get the cheap ads like the Candy Crush and all of that sort of stuff. If it's higher up like categories on YouTube, he would be getting things around, you would be getting things around like cars or, you know, pharmaceuticals or, you know, because they bid the advertisers, and certain categories too will actually put you out of even being bid on for ads, because certain advertisers are like, no, I don't want to ever have to have my ad run in potentially like the entertainment category. I don't want my ads potentially running with a prank video while I'm selling, you know, very high end finance packages and stuff. So there is all these tiers of advertising, and as YouTube is becoming surprising, which I find so interesting as to why YouTube is pushing the shorts model when so many people are starting to watch more and more of it at home. And there's so many people complaining that people aren't finding people's long form content and so forth. That's a whole other topic though. And Tim is probably complaining about his views too. But you're probably in purgatory from YouTube, Tim, because of all your frivolous damn copyright strikes.
You got to have pants for riding the bike, especially off road. I've got motocross pants.
Okay.
That's the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. You know, when I quit drinking the hazelnut creamer and went on heavy whipping cream, just the thought of hazelnut and all that sugar, that sweetness, I couldn't do it again. I really couldn't. And I tried all the flavors. And during the holiday, pumpkin spice and all of them. Go to the gas station, would get it. Loved it. Can't stand it now. And I'm telling you, I never thought I'd see the day. But black coffee, knowing it's simple, I don't need anything extra. All I need is the water and the coffee. I don't need three things. You know, I need a filter. That's enough. And I'm getting the job done. And it's not something that's wanting me to drink it all day. Maybe like the addiction that was in some kind of sugar in that heavy whipping cream, or just, I don't know. But I've definitely adapted. Not that some of the black coffee you can get at like a gas station might taste like crap.
I did
but
that.
This Dunkin' Donuts and this McAfee, baby, it's just fine.
I did that actually with the thing with the, I don't ever want to tell people how to do their YouTube, but yes, one of the things that if you're noticing that you're getting a lot of shorts, there's a little way to hit. And I did that recently to say you don't want as many shorts, especially if you're somebody who does enjoy more of the long form content and also doesn't want to get all this AI generated content, like all of like 1970s. I got all these ones that showed up about famous people. Like I never watch entertainment. I don't know how I get this weird stuff. I mean, I watch sometimes a little bit about entertainment stuff, but not really. I don't really follow anything in Hollywood. I don't go to really too many movies. There aren't really any good movies. Like, I don't know. Maybe I changed as a person because I used to love going to movies. And now I do. That's a lie. I go on occasion, but there's not as many films as I'm desperate to go see like I did back in the day. All right, keep going, Tim. Wrangler jeans, wants a scooter. I mean, that's like a call out to a company, isn't it? So you can then turn around and fast flip. Because Tim is going to get potentially more money on reviewing items, getting some monetized videos. It gives him content because he's got nothing else. And then he can flip it on Facebook Marketplace. There's nothing illegal about it. I mean, it's a great business model if you can keep your subscribers around to watch this type of content so that you are attractive to advertisers who want you to do these review products, you know. Obviously, if you're somebody who's got a really big motorbike channel and people really do respect your opinion, and, you know, because there are those types of channels. That's what Tim wants to be, you know. There are obviously RV channels that are showing products, and these are RV channels that people really have respect. And obviously, you can't just keep hauling around these products. They're going to get flipped on Facebook Marketplace. So, I mean, Tim isn't really doing anything illegal. He isn't. But it's just that it is a business model. But obviously, you do have to declare it on your taxes. It's not just free money in your pocket. You know, there are tax implications behind these things. And like I said, the FTC is starting to crack down on influencers. And then again, it's just the ethics about not letting consumers know that this was sent to you as a review product and you're just flipping it. So there's no real warranty. The warranty isn't going to be able to be transferred the same way, is from what I understand. Hey, I'm so glad to see you. When he came back in Tennessee, he said he had to start back on product reviews. I think all those vehicles from Honda vehicle on were brought to buy and flip by his faithful followers, led by the Lord, always led by the Lord. Thank you for that. Thank you. It's good to see you. Yeah, he needs less scooter and more. Denise, you're going to get me in trouble. All right, keep going, Tim.
And it's getting the job done. It's getting me all hopped up. And I've got to get going. I've got the first appointment. It's not too far away, but I'm going to fire the truck up and get over there. And I'm going to talk to them about repacking the wheel bearings on the camper. However, my good friend Fred has told me that, and I saw it on YouTube, you can tell me, I have Easy Lube wheel bearings. The Dexter axles have these Easy Lube bearings. And what that is, there's a hole through the spline that goes all the way to the back and turns around and comes back out, greasing the inner bearings first, packing them as you spin the wheel, and then the outer bearings second, and then pushing the old grease eventually out.
I love Tim trying to sound like he knows anything about mechanics. He obviously watched the video. He's good at regurgitating.
And when you see a different color of the grease that you're putting in versus what's coming out, your wheel bearings are completely repacked. Now, they say that you should tear them down to check the races and the bearings to see if they've ever overheated and they're blued or whatever. But this camper is relatively new. I don't think that that's, really ever happened.
Yeah.
So,
oh, he hates that black coffee, but he almost hates his belly more. He just can't decide his vanity or his taste buds. And sometimes I think his taste buds take over, as much as he don't want to admit it.
Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I've got a bottle jack. I'm going to raise the camper up. I'm going to buy a bunch of tubes of grease, and I'm going to spin the wheel, push it in there, and do all 4 of them and call it a day.
God, wow.
Breaking news.
Oh, this one.
I saw a YouTube video of a kid in L.A. He delivers food on a scooter. He had a Honda Ruckus.
I mean, even though I enjoy the engagement, just wow. The fact that they think that I had any interest in this guy who lives in an RV, it's because most of these guys live in RVs who are probably dropping these comments in and probably are living in some dire situations doing door dashing or something. Which is really sad when you're like up in your 50s. Like, that's your career. That's what you got.
And some other small, small scooters. And I think I talked about it the other day. Yeah, when I was walking, I watched a bunch of videos last night. The Yamaha 300cc scooter is called an X-Max. And it is amazingly rated as the bomb, baby. It is.
I mean, I love the engagement. Don't get me wrong. YouTube loves the engagement too. And they do great for my algorithm because they come in and drop like 3 or 4 comments at a time. And YouTube just sees that as, whoa, the chat going off the chain. And YouTube loves it, But, I have to be, more stealth about having fun with the community. Ugh. I guess these guys think that's funny.
Okay. This guy went across country on it. Got all kinds of storage under the seat and everything.
Yes.
And I thought, and one old guy, he has a Class A bus. Heavy guy, old guy. He's got a video on there. Most of the videos are from Yamaha themselves, promoting the product.
Well, if Tim isn't claiming his sales on his taxes on his Facebook, he is doing something illegal, actually. So you can flip, but you better pay taxes.
But they've been around a long time. So this guy had a 2020 2020 or 2022, and he got him a 2025. And he says, I don't have a second car. He goes, I don't tow a car behind my camper because I have this, and it can go to the grocery store and get all kinds of stuff. Maybe the KLX, after a trip of doing some.
Oh, wow. I'm going to read what Stacy has. Thank you for that research. Debbie's a great researcher. Debbie says, the scooter he wants is like a Vespa. Isn't that the one that he met with the person the other day, had some type of Vespa? Not an e-bike. I looked up the model he wants, and it's between $8,000 to $10,000. And of course, he got that money just burning, and he's got the KLX burning in his pocket from the sales of the Honda Goldwing, and it's just going to be burning a hole in his pocket. Still, all of these assets are able to be garnished. You think he's going to get ready to sell the RV? Watch him and say he does not do proper maintenance. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't. We know he doesn't. He doesn't want to pay for it either. It just astounds me that he would turn around and probably spend $8,000 to $10,000. Thank you for that information, Debbie. That was awesome. $8,000 to $10,000 on a scooter, but he wouldn't pay to take that RV, that's basically his home, that he's invested tens of thousands of dollars in, even if it was our taxpayer money, and turn around and just get that thing into a place, let them do the maintenance, because we know Tim is clueless and hates doing it. Stay in an extended stay for a couple of nights, just get yourself in a hotel room and take care of it. Because that's the only way he's going to be able to get that property really, that thing really maintained. You can't just have it sitting for as long as he does, not moving it. It's been almost, 6 months since he went to Georgia? Wasn't it in October? It's been a while now. God, how time goes. But it's been a while since he was there and moving that thing. So those tires and stuff, you've got to move those things around. I mean, he should be moving it in his spot. Otherwise, he's going to ruin his tire. Anything. Yeah, it can't come soon enough. And again, if you're a member of the Good Life, we're going to be community. We're going to talk about a little bit about that too. How many people are going to be look at the KLX and say they don't want all those mods? I don't know, since I'm not somebody in the actual business of wanting to purchase stuff, but I don't know if that's a selling point or negative. If you know, let me know in the chat. Vespa? He wants a Vespa? Oh, yeah, that's just some type of that trailer. We'll never see the desert ever again. I just find it interesting. MSRP is $6,300. And then you have to think about taxes onto that too. Me too. I can't wait either. The taxes, yes, the absolute taxes on that. You want to hear the tone? Tim is going to get more religious, guys. More religious and more buying stuff. Where are we in the lunar cycle? Keep talking, Tim. We got to check out where we are. I want to see where the moon's at.
Off-roading, and since I got to go all the way across the country to play with it, where I want to be, mountains and stuff, I'll blow it out, take a loss if I have to, and buy the Yamaha, if I can find a pre-owned one, that'd be nice, 300 X-Max, and put that. He has the same kind of motorcycle carrier on his RV, and put that on the front of the truck. Or when I'm at home, that's my second car. Well, I have the truck. Forget about that. But when you have something like that, you can really put a lot of stuff in. I would never want to jump in the truck and go to Publix or something. You could jump on the scooter. And the guy I met yesterday at the beach with the little Vespa, he said he has a...
Oh, gosh, here we go. I don't know if Vespa is going to send you a bike like that, Tim. It's a very good Italian scooter company. They have a lot of Vespas in the UK. Vespa was like, I think there were two types, and Vespa was like the for the little scooters. Those were like the ones that were generally, more expensive. Tim has got really a sickness on this stuff. He's never satisfied. It's wild. He's talking about needing to buy jeans. He'll be warm by the time he gets to a store to buy a pair of Wranglers. I feel bad if I go too many times to a supermarket in a week just to get groceries. Tim out here shopping for everybody. I swear, I've never shopped as much as Tim shops. It's wild.
Motorbike too, but he loved this Vespa and talked about all the room in it. There's a certain thing. Now, the dirt bike is small. I put a couple little bags on it. I put a couple of things in there. But it's a completely different motorbike than these scooters.
See, Tim wants to be fashionable because Sammy says they sell them in the gentrified areas of New York. Oh, I can imagine. That's perfect to try to get around all that traffic in the city too. But not great if it's raining.
And these scooters now are making some big size ones. You know about the Bergman? And then, you got the Yamaha, and Honda makes one. And I think BMW and others too. So very possibly I will sell the KLX and get this scooter. I really like it.
Oh,
I think it's very practical. And I can just let the truck.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to get some bugles. I'm going to be looking for a sound clip, dun, dun, to get that little like bugle horn sound every time we hear a rest in peace for one of Tim's things. I need to get the little horn, like the little bugle horn going. I don't think I have any soundboard like that. I need a bugle horn. Oh my goodness. He just can't get enough. Just can't hit. This is what Tim's heart's doing at the moment. Every time he thinks about buying something new. Yeah, he gets that excited. His heart just gets. Just can't get enough. Oh my God, I'm the opposite. I'm obviously, happy that I've, if I have the money to get something new, but I always have a sort of this, I have more like for my grandma, a sense of guilt of having purchased something new. I'm sure this stems from Tim's childhood and him not having had a lot or something. Who knows? Yeah, I'm definitely more practical. I've had the same pairs of jeans for if I still fit them, I still have them. I have some jeans, I'm sure, I can't even remember what year I bought them. Probably 2015. I've got some things. I recently threw out a sweatshirt that I had for over 20 years. Still was like a Sicily, which is a good Italian brand. It was when stuff was still like made in Italy and stuff. And it was just a regular old gray sweatshirt. Had that. I finally just, it bit the dust. And I said, time to get rid of it. But it was over 20 years old. Jesus. Tim throwing out something that he'd had for a month.
Wherever I go, leave it hooked up to the camper. That's what the guy with the RV said. He goes, that way I don't have to disconnect my car. I'm always going into roads that I can't turn around in. I'm going down the wrong road. He admitted it. And I'd have to disconnect the vehicle. And this way, he's able to, it's like a second car. There's a ton of room in those things. So I'm really thinking about it. I gotta go. Let me go brush my teeth, go to coffee, and get the heck on out of here and start crushing it.
Oh no. All right, let's go take a quick look at his little his review video, only just because somebody pointed out there was a very good comment here. Oh, he's putting this includes pay promotion. That's good. Like I said, we're going to take a look at some of the FTC stuff. Here we go. So thank you for sending this via my Facebook. Denise, I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Debbie, sorry. Debbie, sorry. Debbie, not Denise. Debbie sent me this. Thank you, Debbie. And she saw this on a little screenshot. And so this is good to know because I was asking beforehand, did Tim batch and film these things? And yes, he has, because P&W Floor Guys says, didn't you sell this? And Tim says, yep, still promoting them though. And I don't know what the ethics of that is. And then this guy thinks that Tim's got it. So, because most of these folks, they, for the most part, they think this type of, just rancid behavior is okay. It's cool. It's just good to go. This is like, you know, and just, you know, after a while, if it's just like if everybody were to, you know, always be disregarding these things, then, you know, where would we actually be? Okay, so I've got some pictures of the moon cycle here. We are in a waning crescent per NASA. Here we go. I'm going to share this tab instead. So Tim is waning at the moment. He might be feeling low. So we're at the waning. I'm trying to find the one where we really get the good idea of like the dates. I had that one which was telling us. Here we are, Daily Moon Guide. Go to the guide. Here we are. What will I see? Here we go. So here we've got, oh, look at this. Unaided, binoculars. Just we usually do unaided. They're going to tell us. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. So NASA's saying to us, we're on a waning crescent here. 4% day 28, and we got all these different things. Oh my gosh, it's got all sorts of stuff. Tomorrow, what are we going to be doing? It's got some. This is an interesting one. I don't know where my usual page is, but we don't know Tim's personality on this. You're president of the Honda's Rider Club of America. I'm a lifelong biker too. You looked at the promo videos of e-bike. Most of the reviewers are kids. Oh no! On this e-bike. Well, it's just so fascinating that Tim has already hawked this thing off. You know, it's, you know, whatever the sound of the actual, you know, the sound of our horns going, you know. All right, let me just see if this was what I had to share around all of this information. No, I want that one. Let me go back. Let me see. Is it this one? Sorry about this. Should we play Tim's e-bike video? That would be better. Let me play his e-bike video.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota, Tim. I'm out here with my e-bike, a moped style. Yeah, it's a TST model called the R9.
Tim, you sound really short of breath.
For 2026, white raised leather tires, 4-inch wide, 20-inch. This is a moped style bike, fully equipped. One of their top of the line with LED headlight, turn signals, tail light, dual battery setup with 60 to 130 mile range you can go. I want to show you how the batteries come out and something that's very important about this rear battery that I learned. So you have the key, you give you 2 keys, and let's make sure we don't have it locked. I think that's locked. It is unlocked. And I'm going to pull it out of there. Hopefully I got you aimed right. You just pull it hard like that. See? There it is. And so here's your battery. Make sure I got you zoomed out good. Yeah. 48 volt battery. And it has a little.
Oh gosh! See, he just doesn't care. I wonder how many of these he made to patch out.
This button right here shows it's fully charged, and there's a off and on switch right here, so it doesn't do anything when it's off and on. But when you put it in, what I learned about it's very important is, let me show you. When you put it in here, you have to lift this part up. Otherwise, if you just lift it up a little bit and go in, you think that maybe that's it. Easy access to the key, but that's not it. You've got to literally pull this up, push down, and lift that first part up where it goes over a hump. That's not it.
It's already sold. Rest in peace. Okay. Quickly over to here. All right. So these are all here. You see, this is for the intellectuals if you want to stay behind, or people who maybe have channels. People who are interested in knowing a little bit more. These are the codes of the federal regulations. These are the parts I kind of picked out. This part 465. These are rules now. Well, they came in play in August of 24, but they're being more enforced now this year in 2026. And it really is because of all these different influencers, all these AI ads. And so it's just kind of giving an idea about fake or false consumer reviews, consumer testimonials, or celebrity testimonials. A lot of that might be whether is it it is an unfair, deceptive act or practice and a violation of this part for a business to write, create, or sell a consumer review, consumer testimonial, or celebrity testimonial that materially misrepresents expressly or by implication that the reviewer or testimonial exists, that the reviewer or testimonial, it just keeps going down. It's unfair or deceptive, and really, disseminate the information. So it really kind of got into all these because obviously as we've become more social media savvy and have more access to social media, we obviously have more things that we see. There are people that they're literally their livelihoods are, putting reviews out. Obviously, looking at products, people are now becoming more, outwardly selling things, as we see with Sarasota Tim and doing his reviews on his bike. About buying the reviews, all of these different things, suppressing if there's been bad reviews of something. That the company tries to get rid of their misuse of fake indicators of social media influence. Now, this might be something that Tim may need to be cautious of in the future. Misuse of fake indicators of social media influence. It is an unfair or deceptive act or practice and a violation of this part for anyone to sell or distribute fake indicators of social media influence that they know or should have known to be fake, and that can be used by individuals or businesses to materially misrepresent their influence or importance for commercial purposes. So what influence does Tim have at this point? Purchase or procure fake indicators of social media influence that they knew or should have known to be fake, and that materially misrepresent their influence or importance for a commercial purpose. So basically, if Tim were to have, a contract with the company and say, for example, he is purchasing views from YouTube, like promoting his video, they're not organic. I'm wondering if this could potentially go into that. I mean, it's how you interpret the law, isn't it? And then how the law is applied. And then you get cases, and then that becomes case law. It's kind of how it works. So a lot of it's going to get very interesting in the future, as we see. Like I said, at the moment, this sort of thing is okay, but there are things around, obviously wanting to make sure with the IRS, and wanting to make sure is with that. If you're complying with making sure that with this, because like a lot of people, I'm just curious in the chat, if you buy something from Facebook Marketplace, do you ever ask to see a receipt? One, to make sure it's not just a stolen item that you're buying off a random person, or do you do any type of checks in order to make sure that the item that you are purchasing is able to be verified? Or do you just feel comfortable going and buying something off of a Sarasota Tim? You've bought refurbished phones from Amazon, that you buy your phones unlocked, you don't buy the latest version, works great for you. 3 times? You never ask for a receipt? So you don't know if it's been stolen, you don't know about the warranty. It'd probably be a good idea to start asking for receipts on stuff. All of these can be, they can all be digitally accessed. Everything is now on digital, so that you don't have to worry about a paper receipt anymore. You can literally have it as a digital receipt. And so obviously there is some things around, these. So I'm just going to share some of this. Not that I care about AI, but obviously there are these different things that I was just pointing out about the fake reviews. There are some disclosure rules as well. So let me share this. I hate that I went and looked a little bit more on AI on this. Let me share this real fast here, just because it makes it interesting. But they all can be, you never ask, depending on what it is. Well, I mean, from what I've been looking at and learning, if you want to be able to have a warranty or keep a warranty, or to find out whether it's gifted or flipper, or whether somebody is, you can find out through Facebook too. You can find out there's certain ways, I understand, on marketplace whether this is like a frequent seller and stuff. But obviously you just never know how people get goods. But obviously warranties, and I understand that like most of these like big products, especially if you're looking at an expensive RV product, I would definitely want to see if the person had a digital receipt for warranty. And if not, then you probably know it could have been a flip or a review, but certainly would ask, something that could be something to consider. So here, the FTC material connection requirements, we were just looking at that page from the FTC. So we were looking at some of the consumer review rules on that. That's that. It's a big guideline. And this works along with the endorsement guides, because obviously the federal trade is still trying to protect us as consumers out here. So there is a disclosure rule under the 16 CFR section 465.5. Any material connection like receiving a free $2,000 RV solar generator must be disclosed clearly and conspicuously, which Tim is now starting to includes paid promotion. For the longest time, he wasn't. And he definitely needs to make sure he is doing that. And the FTC is starting to crack down on this. And maybe Tim has been smart enough to realize that now and started to cover himself on that one. There is a deception trigger, meaning from this FTC. If you list an item on Facebook Marketplace without disclosing it was a review unit, it may be what is considered that deceptive omission. This is because a smart buyer would find it material to know the item has been handled, potentially modified for a video, or carries a voided non-transferable warranty. Because obviously, potentially, these companies know which of the serial numbers or the items that are leaving the factories or the warehouses that are the review units. And so they may have a way of tracing all this back. So that's just something, it's really just dependent, just saying that a lot of people will want to, where's everyone? Well, I just started to get, more into like talking about laws and IRS stuff. And so smart people who are really interested in protecting their consumer selves around creators who are all getting these review items and flipping them really fast probably find this stuff interesting. If people are just here for the reacts, they're probably gone. So that's probably what's happening. And I'm just saying that, for everybody who thinks that Tim doesn't do anything illegal, as long as he's following all these things, Tim's never doing anything illegal. But the part that I found the most interesting is here about the IRS 1099K reporting in 2026. And this is affecting to all creators. And there are many people on here who are also creators who are watching. And then obviously, it's reporting threshold for 2026 tax year. The reporting threshold for digital platforms is set at $600. So Tim, I don't know what I think maybe the threshold was different in 2025. I don't know if anybody knows the threshold for that, but Tim definitely needs to make sure that he's putting this on his taxes. How's he got it as a business write-off? And then, so Tim has got I'd love to see one of Tim's tax filings. Gosh, wouldn't that be fascinating to see one of Tim's flats? You got the same black dress and flats for 10 years. I promise you, I got some pants that I've had for a long time before I even became an RN. I probably still have those pants. I know I do. Like before I went to before I went to study to be an RN. So I know I still have a pair of pants. I actually still fit them. They're back in fashion now. And they're literally from like 2006. They're 20 years old. And I probably still think they're new. Or like, oh, these pants are still good. As long as they still fit me. 20-year-old pants. I know I have some 20-year-old pants. Trousers. I have 20-year-old trousers. Easily. I consider something new if I've had it in the last few years. Like I'm umming and ahhing. I get all excited if I get a pair of jeans every 5 years. It's just incredible when I hear about just him who's in an RV, just his sort of difference in mentality and into how he treats his clothing and how he obviously he does not want to lose his YouTube channel. This I'm not telling you, his fast flip, his product review, all of this since Tim's views have kind of gone drastically down. This is where Tim makes his money, right here, doing this stuff. Make sure to hit the likes coming in, guys, if you just come in. I appreciate it. This reminds you whatever happened to Tim's shoe collection. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's bought so much stuff. It's wild. Okay, so he's got to keep an eye on all of this for his digital platforms. If he's selling things and getting stuff back, we're all, Tim is definitely doesn't want to pay attention. Double taxation risk. So this is always something that's essential. Income. The IRS considers the fair market value of gifted RV product as taxable income the moment you receive it. So any of these items that he's having come in, Tim needs to know what that fair market value is for that specific item. Otherwise, and he has to put that on his income. It's not, all the other, I mean, I think he thinks he can show all this stuff and it'd be a tax write-off for his channel against his YouTube income. But that's not how the IRS sees this stuff. Are there thousands of creators out here, tens of thousands? Absolutely. So, but they do have different ways of looking at people's 1099s and detect. And it's interesting as we get more AI, more technology, more ways, because AI can sift through data really rapidly. That's what all these search engines, Googles, that's what they've all been, And so it's changing how we're interacting with AI. Like I said, I'm definitely going to look into doing this AI human medical expert stuff that they have. It pays $45 an hour. It sounds like interesting. I'd be curious. I'm going to check it out anyway. So the capital gains. So this is the part that's very interesting. I find fascinating. And so it's not what he sells it for. Well, that goes into capital gains here, from what I understand. So when you sell that free item for cash, you must report the sale. Since your basis cost in the item was technically its fair market value, you only pay tax on the profit gain. So I wonder if he's working all this out. So you have to report so what basically has to happen is if Tim has to find out what the fair market value is of the product that he had, and then once he sells it, like say, for example, let's make the math real easy. So if he has that $200 scooter that he had, and the IRS considers its fair market value $100 for that gifted product, then on his IRS, he has to say $100 of taxable income. Obviously, then if he sells it, he has to do it as capital gains, but he only does it on the profit. So if he had a fair market value of 100 on the scooter and sold it for 200, then he has to pay tax on the other 100. So he has to pay tax on $200. Still. So even if you don't receive a 1099-K, the IRS requires reporting all business income. In 2026, the IRS is actively matching 1099-K data against reported returns to catch underreporting from side hustles. Here we go. Right over here. So this is, I know, this is the stuff I find. Oh, let me share this tab instead. We're going over to the IRS real fast. This is how, so yeah, these guys are making really good money, as you can tell. Maybe people are starting to think to themselves, darn, I need to get onto this. Sarasota Tim maybe has a fair market value of that, Blue Eddy power battery thing that he had. Maybe that was, what did he say? $1,550. I wonder what the fair market value of that was. There was a way to check it out. I wonder how we should, I wish I'd set this up better, but there's a way to go in and find out what that fair market value is and then what he sold it for. And then Tim, of course, he tries to show everything around as a tax write-off, but these aren't really tax write-offs, are they? These are income streams, not tax write-offs to your channel because you're showing the object, because you just have to wonder, how's Tim then writing off his taxes all the time? I would be fascinated to see what happened. You don't well, we know he's probably not following any of the rules. So Form 1099K is a report of payments you receive for goods or services during the year. All these credit, debit, or store value codes, such as gift cards, all this stuff you're supposed to report, guys. Payment apps or online marketplaces, also called third-party settlement organizations or TPSOs. I mean, this affects all of us, really. These organizations are required to fill out 1099K and send copies to the IRS and to you. Now, these Facebook and all these companies, they can flag like who is like a serial seller, a rapid seller, like constantly selling. I just think it's interesting because I think where people were able to skirt around things in the past, they are starting to have more ways to monitor how other businesses interact and do things. And so I just wonder if Tim is paying any attention. One creator who quit school counselor job to do YouTube full time. Most of her income came from sponsorships. Now her sponsorships are drying up because she started an IG. That's not in alignment. Yes. Because, and I wonder why she would turn around and risk it for Instagram. Unless she wants to start selling products on Instagram. But that's really where celebrities and stuff go. There's a lot of people who are like TV personalities and celebrities, and they will have their affiliate stores. They all work with that. Because this brand reached out to me and I'm like, But so they'll come to you as it's no big compliment because it's basically an affiliate site. But they'll manage all your brand deals, your affiliate links, and all of these things for all of these people. There's a lot of this that goes on. And obviously, predominantly, it's been with people who are younger, a little bit more involved with that sort of tech life, much more into that. But we older folks are starting to, use social media much more, not feeling it's a stigma to be interacting with social media. Like you guys out here. So it is fascinating that's not good. Hopefully she can, it's always a good thing to keep your regular jobs as much as you can. Unless your regular job is that you are a famous, celebrity already, and your regular job is being on TV. Obviously, they get the great reach. A lot of these folks have these extra, get ready with me's, and they'll be putting on their makeup and stuff, and people will be able to interact with people that they see on TV in a real world way, and all with every one of their 10-step, beauty routine, all the products, affiliate link down below. And this is where most of these folks are now making their money. I promise you, this has opened up a stream of revenue that beforehand, these people would have to negotiate very big contract deals with companies in order to get these sponsorships. And now these celebrities themselves are able to just do it on their own without having to worry about the 10% cut on this guy's management and the whatever on this person. So this obviously, but it's all based on whether or not people are going to be able to purchase from you, which is why I think that somebody like Tim has kind of a gold mine when it comes to just making money, when it comes to the actual fast flip of these products, why he's so protective of his channel. Because obviously if you think about that sale of just some of these batteries and e-bikes and stuff, and add that to probably some of his YouTube income, he's getting a lot from those product reviews and those item flips. He's getting good, money. He has to pay taxes on it, but he's definitely, getting some decent income in his pocket just by participating in that. To think if he has an expensive watch phone, it's like he has money. Oh, yeah. Well, they just have to go out to dinner with him one time and they'll realize even if the man had money, just to behave the way that Tim does around people in restaurants and just his general way of being, that would be like an enormous red flag to his character. You can learn a lot about somebody from having shared just one meal with them without them really saying about anything. But yeah, I just would love to see one of Tim's tax returns on this. Who sends the K-1099? This is interesting. Payment card companies, payment apps, and online marketplaces are required to fill out 1099K and send it to the IRS each year. They must also send a copy to you by January. So Tim is technically supposed to get this 1099K form. So I just wonder, okay, because now they've changed some of these thresholds, but this is what the IRS says. If you use a payment app or online marketplace, okay, this is where we'll finish out for tonight. A payment app or online marketplace is required to send you a form 1099K if the payment you receive for goods or services, okay, this is the interesting part, total over $20,000 in more than 200 transactions. However, they may, because those are just like people who are really like mass selling. Because there's some people that really do use Facebook Marketplace to really turn over some stuff. I don't think Tim quite falls into this category, obviously. But there could be some people who are getting quite a lot of stuff through products to review. They might be flipping some stuff over. And they want to make sure that the government wants to not just let people get free stuff and get sold and get the money in pocket. They want to see their tax cut. However, they may send you a 1099K with lower amounts and or transactions. Wow. So payments can be made through any payment app, online community marketplace, craft or maker marketplace, obviously Etsy, auction site, car sharing or ride hauling platform, ticket exchange or resale site, crowdfunding platform. I have to report my buy me a coffee as income. Even though it's not like $20,000, I still need to report my income. It is still income that is taxable. And that's what you do. As much as it feels like you can just stay away, you do have to kind of, are you saying hi to Carl? I don't know if what that's supposed to mean. All right. Okay. And then here, obviously, you got your reporting thresholds, all of this, personal payments, money you receive from family and friends as a gift or repayment for personal expense should not be reported. So if Kim can't say that all these companies are his friends. Reminder, whether or not you received the form, you must still report any income on your tax return. This includes payments for any goods you sell, including personal items such as clothing or furniture, at a gain, or services you provide at a gain. So that's interesting. They have not liked all the gig workers, the Facebook flippers. I wonder how this works with people that walk around TJ Maxx and buy stuff for people for way more than its value and how they would get their income, because all these people send tons of money into these payment apps and stuff. And for the longest time, people probably haven't paid taxes on any of this stuff. Because everyone's like, send me PayPal, send me Venmo, send me this, send me that, as a way to, skirt around, ways of people seeing these monies. So, yeah, I wonder how Tim's going to be reporting his. You get those 1099s from eBay. Yeah. I wonder how much Tim, because Tim, from the start of the year, he didn't do as many reviews on items, but he does tend to have items that have high net worth. E-bikes, that one $1,500 thing, he was trying to sell that one battery that somebody had gifted him, remember? I mean, I wonder over time, if you added it up, does he hit that 20,000 threshold over time? Especially if you added in, like, if he suddenly decided to sell the KLX or something on somewhere like Facebook Marketplace. Or did he list it? No, he listed the Goldwing and the Cycle Trader. We believe that's where we saw the Goldwing. So he didn't list that. He won't. But didn't he put his Honda on Facebook Marketplace? But he didn't sell it through Facebook. I wonder how they catch it. And I get a 1099 each year, even though I sell less than $600. Okay. Does seem odd to have to report when you sell things you've owned for many years, like an old couch or chair. I know, you would think. I guess then the thing to do is to put in fair market value. But I guess if it says it's worth $0 and you make 20, then that's $20 of profit. And it's only up to 600. Honda was on Cycle Trader. Yes, exactly. But wouldn't that still be considered like a community marketplace? I wonder how that works with cars and bikes and stuff. I guess it works differently. Anyone think he really does his taxes? Well, he gets Social Security. So don't you have to have taxes filed in order to receive your Social Security? I would have thought that the government would make sure that if you're getting one thing, that you're filing the other. Though I don't think your Social Security, I don't know, is your Social Security subject to income tax? I've never had to file for Social Security. So I'm just curious. Because obviously the way they're able to start to use more tools and these companies start to talk to each other and they can scour this stuff. I just wonder. A lot of YouTubers have been making big banks have seen downturns, smart not to rely on it like Tim. Well, that's because the way that YouTube is valuing, and a lot of these guys go for like mass content and mass views and stuff. And YouTube's algorithm is rewarding different types of content now. So yeah, there are algorithmic changes and stuff. And I hear a lot about it. But it's just because there's a shift in the type of content that people are watching too. So and it's always happening. There's always going to be a year when one niche is going to be saying that something's going on or something, but it is fascinating to watch, and it's interesting for us because maybe somebody had a takeaway tonight. That maybe they want to start asking for receipts or finding out a little bit more about the history of an expensive item, especially if it's like new and never used, was it a review unit? Did it just didn't fit your lifestyle? If it wasn't, you should still have a copy of the digital receipt so that you can, get the warranty potentially, especially if it's expensive items. I'm just always curious. You don't make enough to feel for oh, sad but true. I'm so sorry, Ed. I know you do hard work though, taking care of your family. So this, yeah, good point, Ray. Well, thank you. IRS delayed the 600 limit. Well, that's what's always so interesting about tax code too. Because how does this get enforced? But there's so many people that do this. So many, Like, I don't think I've done some reviews and stuff, and obviously the products have been great. I had to write all this stuff off of my taxes. And so it kind of like stuff I would have bought anyway. So you just have to kind of balance out. You have to get enough of this stuff, I guess, to sort of think to yourself it's going to be worth the item to sell. That's why Tim probably likes these big ticket items. Well, he just thinks he's getting money in his pocket. Probably, I would love to see his taxes. I can't believe he's like he probably puts himself as a finance channel or something. I'm always curious what he categorizes himself at YouTube. But for somebody who's like wants to talk about Social Security or Medicaid Advantage plans or Medicare, sorry, Advantage plans or all these different things, we are literally countdown 1 month to go. I know you're probably like many of you at home. You're probably already starting to put your taxes together. I know I have been. I use Free Tax USA. I find that's a very good, very inexpensive app to use for filing my taxes. And I have fairly straightforward taxes. I have some business things from YouTube, obviously, that I include on my Schedule C. But luckily with Free Tax USA, I don't pay. Additionally, it's a very inexpensive. If you've never used Free Tax USA, I am not affiliated. I am not sponsored by that particular site. But they are a lot less expensive than any of your big branded HR Blocks or Jackson Hewitts or any of these other TurboTax or any of those, which can be very expensive to file. But Free Tax USA is definitely very user-friendly and very cost-effective. I think they're like pretty much free on the federal, and then you just pay on the state. So yeah, check them out if you haven't filed yet. But yeah, I'm always curious to know what they would do. You're right. You don't have to file taxes, but apparently I earn $3 a month too much to get state pay for my Medicare Part B. I am so sorry to hear that. I heard there is a site called freegroceries.com. I'm just saying, if anybody's interested. And I saw, it was just because I saw a TikTok about it on YouTube. And this it didn't give meats, but it came with eggs and vegetables. It actually looked really good. It takes a few weeks to start. Freegroceries.com. I'm not sponsored. Free Tax USA used to be free. Now they charge, but lower than the others. Yes. And I wonder if it's because I think they took away the free file. The government, the free e-file, I believe is not free anymore. So we used to be able to get federal filings for free, but I think that's gone. I think we do have to pay to file online with the federal government now. So that might be where the charge is coming from. That free grocery thing is a scam. Oh, good to know. Well, that would be an interesting topic to talk about. You see? That would be interesting to talk about. See, there's so many scams out there. So many of them. So many. They go direct to certain type of Advantage plans to get the groceries. I see. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Ray, the new regime makes you pay. Yes. No more free file. Let's get campaigned for the free file to return. All right, guys. We're going to make this one quick. We've still been here for almost an hour and 40 minutes. So I just wanted to talk about something a little bit interesting, a little bit different tonight. I do appreciate all of you who came in to talk about these topics. Make sure that you do hit the likes on the way out. I want to thank all of my moderators, Angel of Glass, of course, Sammy and Catherine too, for being so gracious and taking their time to come and moderate, because we did have a lot of action at the beginning, man. Oh my goodness. They were getting really wild on TV as a scam. I do get a grocery allowance each month. I'm very grateful. Okay. Oh, okay. Good to know. You like it? It's interesting. Yeah, I do too. And I'm always, and if I have more time to research, I obviously, I know Off-Grid Living Mike was always wanting people to supplement his lifestyle. If you want to help supplement mine, just make sure to hit the likes, just the views on these videos. are things that help. Obviously, memberships to the community, all of these things. Buy me a coffee, just to troll the guys out there, because I know they love my buy me a coffee. For the Roscoe Rocks fundraiser, always for the puppy treats. I'm about to go take the puppies out for a walk. It was interesting. I'm so glad. I think it's an interesting topic too, because obviously a lot of these, I mean, shoot, these guys, this serious money, is it, I don't know if it's something that's on my brand, obviously. There's a lot of ethics, I love reviewing the products and stuff. And obviously I want to say that I'm not the fastest reviewing the products when they come into me. So that might have got me blacklisted. I get them done, but I'm not set up like that, like Tim. I'm just not motivated. Tim really gets money from doing his, so I think he's a lot more motivated. I was working with the thing with that one window company to get the blinds, but I didn't have like the way my windows are set up in my condo, the way the windows are put in, because I had the windows replaced. And the way they had to kind of do that has made for just a square thing to fit in absolutely impossible. And then obviously it wasn't going to work for the skylight because it just kind of sits in place. And obviously it could just fall down from the skylight, so it wasn't going to work there. So unfortunately, that particular brand thing that I was doing, because that was interesting for a lot of people work nights, for people who have sunny spots or RVs. It was an interesting thing to look at. Just didn't work for my home. The deal didn't work, and it just never happened, So if low income is reported, he may not pay any taxes. Well, his income shouldn't be low, not from all these items that he had, and not from his YouTube monies. That would, and then he'd top with his, so he makes way more. Yeah, he makes a lot more. He just, Tim's YouTube money was quite substantial, which is why he was able to upgrade on the trucks and stuff. Not all of this came from the government money. That regurgitated YouTube video that he never credited the person he regurgitated. That video set him up quite nicely. And then because he got quite popular afterwards, Tim had a very decent money stream coming in for quite some time on that. He still has a good money stream coming in from these products, guys. Don't be sad. Tim's not hurting, okay? As much as he wants to complain about gas prices, Tim is not hurting. If he's, oh, that's me clapping. Don't worry. Junebug's barking at my taxes. If he sells locally and buyer pays cash, he probably doesn't report. Well, I'm sure, but obviously he's put this thing on Facebook Marketplace, and if he does it enough times, Facebook Marketplace is going to do a 1099K potentially. These things can take some time, But Anne says she gets them from eBay. And I would think that Facebook Marketplace is getting as much as an eBay. So I don't sell on any of these types of places, but I know there's a lot of people that, go to yard sales and find items there and then flip it. And in reality, I guess you're supposed to find out what the fair market value is for that, and then make that difference and pay that in taxes, I guess, or whatever you got as profit for what you paid for at the yard sale. You're technically probably supposed to pay taxes on that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do that stuff. In fact, I know ladies in my neighborhood who used to do that. You can make as much as he wants. Well, yeah, he can now. He can make as much as he wants. But it doesn't mean he can't pay taxes on as much as he, that as much as he wants means he's going to be paying more taxes. He can't write everything off, He can't, that's where this sort of, you have to sit with an accountant, because I'm sure Tim thinks because he's making content around it, potentially it's a write-off, but you can't be getting a product for review that's a gifted item and then, say it's a write-off. I don't know, because you're making content about it. That's why you need to. You've been reselling for years. You do, but well, yeah, you have to pay taxes. Absolutely. If you really are good, you should. That's what people should do. But there's a lot of people, as we know, and Tim probably, there's a lot of people that don't want to do their taxes. Like we're just like, oh, forget about that, But technology is improving. There's a lot more digital footprint out there. And as these things over time, maybe we've been generations where we've been able to kind of get away with this. I think the younger generation is going to have a lot more digital footprint on things happening. And the government, I promise you, is going to want to find its money. It's not going to work hard to get it from the wealthiest people. It's going to work real hard to get it from just regular folks doing stuff like you and I are doing, whether it's a YouTube channel, reselling from having purchased from a flea market, having gotten a fast flip on a review, all of these things. It's going to be a lot easier to trace in the future. As much as we think we don't want it to happen or we don't like it, it's going to happen. Especially for those of us who grew up in a more analog world, for it to then switch to being such a digital world, it's interesting. Yeah. He's not using an accountant. He's going to experience an audit. Well, I just wonder, because it's just, at some point, you would think his account would be a red flag, especially with that $58,000 400 EIDL loan that's supposed to be security backed by all of his business assets. At some point, you think that something would connect the dots around here. But no, you get a free tax prep at the libraries in Sarasota. Well, that's good to know. United Way does it. Oh, they're an awesome organization. So, yeah, just make sure you're filing your taxes correctly. I know, like I said, I know Dingo was starting his. I'm going to start mine. My dogs are going crazy in here. I'm going to take them for a walk, everybody, and grab myself some dinner. I hope wherever you're coming from in the United States, you're having a great evening. I thank you for sharing your time with me tonight. It means a lot to me, especially as we just kind of build this community and just get smart and educate ourselves and talk about topics that, we find that maybe are coming up. Hey, Thomas, hey. Either way, as I mentioned on Dingo's video today, Tim isn't getting any of my tax money. My Social Security pension are not taxable in Pennsylvania. Good to know. That's good to know. Wow. AARP gets free tax help? Oh, I think I'm old enough for that now. We got some links here. Thank you, Angel Glass. This has been an interesting talk, and I really have appreciated it with you guys tonight. So much, Like I said, just make sure when you're hitting on the way out, it's a blessing. Yeah, that's good to know. I don't know what Virginia does for our folk, because I haven't quite. Your puppies, yeah, the puppies are going. Your puppies. Oh, my puppies are going nuts in the background. Oh, don't worry about being late. I'm just saying I'm going to be organizing for a members only stream. I need to think what day to do that and catch up with all the other stuff. Some stuff. Can't catch up with everything, obviously. Got to be stealth. Yours too. Oh. You don't have state tax, which is where they charge you. Yeah, I think it's the state. But it's not even that much. Oh, Thomas, how kind of you. Oh my gosh, let me get over to Nightbot to see who was lucky tonight. Oh, let me hope it was some of the people that I know who've been really wanting to get it, like Irish Eyes. Irish Eyes is probably out celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, anybody again. Let me see who got lucky. Thank you. Nicole, Angel the Ghoul, Brian Schmitz, Perfectly Imperfect, Becca, Anne, all were gifted. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. That was really kind of you. We were just talking about, this was an interesting live and some good info too. Well, I'm so glad. That's what I really want to do is, how to get you guys to think about things like around stuff and especially around social media and creators and stuff. And just like having like, like I said, there might be people now thinking when they're looking at something, asking the seller, hey, do you have a digital receipt for that? Because we know people don't keep anything, but all of these things have digital receipts nowadays. Most of them get a lot of stuff don't have these other types of receipts, but just trying to find out. Yeah, Thomas is an absolute blessing. Yeah, he is. Thomas does bless everybody. He is very kind. Doggies are fighting. Yes, the dogs are playing. Yeah, Roscoe's sitting up in the chair, and Junebug is like just trying to get him to play. Yeah, that's what you choose. Oh, well, I do. I actually do too. I do believe in the joy of giving, as we know Tim does too, because he gets down on his knees and prays to God about where to give in his compassion. And I certainly am somebody too. When I get into other communities that I like to watch, I am also somebody who gifts the creators and loves to super chat them and stuff. Not saying everyone has to here. I'm just saying that I understand. It's like people who have been waiters or waitresses or worked as servers, I should say is a more appropriate word, worked as servers, know that when you go out and you're at a restaurant, you're probably a pretty generous tipper because you were in the service industry. So as a creative, with people whose content I really enjoy, I do send tips to them. There's nothing that's bad about that. Just as there's nothing illegal about Tim fast flipping on Facebook Marketplace, as long as he's doing his 1099K properly, as long as he's finding out what is the fair value, market value of that item that he's getting, and then when that comes in, and then he's paying the taxes on that fair market value, and then he's paying the taxes on the item that he then sold on Facebook for the difference in those two prices. Obviously, if it's less than what the fair market value was, then he may not have to pay taxes on it, I wonder. But he's still going to have to pay taxes on the fair market value. So it just depends. Your dogs are going crazy. I know. They are having fun. And so I've had fun with you guys. I'm going to say goodnight. Make sure to hit the likes. Thank you, Thomas. You are okay with being late. Even if the IRS didn't catch him, Jesus sees it. Oh, yeah. Well, he's not really worried about that, as we know. Tim is a very different person behind the scenes. And we've had people who've got to know him in person who have definitely found that out, So, and then if that anything, you love hearing my dogs. Oh, well, thank you. I obviously don't stop them. I don't know if my neighbors love it. Luckily, my neighbor downstairs works night. So but I know sometimes they have woken him up in the day. Like there was one time I think they were going nuts. Poor guy couldn't get any sleep. Especially when like the landscapers come out during the summertime. I feel bad then. Have a great dinner, everyone. Probably lie and say he didn't get the forms. Oh Lord. Well, they can be they can be digitally accessed too. No, they don't play. No, the IRS doesn't play. Yes, we'll see you in the next chat. And like I said, I'm planning a members only probably will be our next one. And hopefully with all these new members. The IRS doesn't play. That's how they got Al Capone, everybody. All right, guys. We'll check you on the next one. It's been fun. Bye. I know. Thomas is awesome. All right. You're all awesome, actually.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.